Hey, everybody. Welcome to Kansas City Business Cast. This is your host, Michael Reisinger. Right now, we're in season 6, and we have been doing this long enough now to where we've had the pleasure and honor of having some of our best guests back to come back to the show. And my next guest is just an absolute legend. This guy is a legend in my life and in Kansas City. And our first talk on the show up to that point was the longest conversation I had had and sit down, and I will never forget it. It was a rainy day, and Clark Roosevelt is on the show again. Welcome, Clark, from Clvr World Goods and Supply, and so much more, dude. You do so much in Kansas City. It's just amazing. So I'm so glad to have you back, man.
Man, I'm glad to be back, man. I appreciate every time someone call me a legend.
Oh,
It's
dude.
an incredible
Yeah.
feeling. I can't even
Yeah, man.
be
Well,
mad about it.
yeah, I mean, since we last talked too, like a lot has transpired, right? Like, um, you know, your business has evolved, right? And one thing that I just appreciated about you from the very beginning is, you set up Clvr World Goods and Supply out of a shipping container, right? And that was in the parking lot at Ruby Jeans. Now you're in a different setting, right? And we had Sharon Thompson on the show back before the 811 space launched, and he said, "Hey, we're going to launch this retail incubator. It's going to be great." And I remember they had that first handful of folks that they had announced. And then when I saw that you had announced you were going to be at the 811 space, it
Yeah,
was like, oh my gosh, this is so epic, right? And
yeah,
I knew too, because I saw you right before the time was coming to an end with, the situation in the
yep,
container, right? And
yep,
at that time, forgive me if I'm wrong, but you weren't sure what was going to happen, right? You're like, I got some things cooking. I don't know.
yeah,
For all I know, you knew about it. You just didn't want to share it yet. But,
yeah. Man, my initial plan was when I closed that down because I we had to close down for the season anyways when the summer ends.
right.
Hello, testing, testing. Yeah, when
Yep.
the
I can
summer
hear you.
ends,
Yep.
we gotta close. We would have to close that down anyways. We did 3 summers over there, so this time it was just man. I didn't know what I didn't know what I was gonna do retail wise, but I did know that I wanted to educate myself on business and how to run financials, my paperwork and things like that, so that the business can grow. Because so far I just been hustling. I just been hustling, which is cool. But hustling is a young man game, at least when it comes to like physical hustling. It's a young man game. Eventually, you got to go do something else, or you got to figure something else out if you want that business to grow. In that regard, then you can keep. From my perspective, in that regard, once you get the back end rolling, then you can, you know what I'm saying? Not that it's gonna be easy to keep it rolling, but once you get it rolling, once you get the understanding that you can get to a platform and work, then you can get to that platform and work. That's where I'm in motion to getting to that platform and getting everything behind me set up. And that's what my plan was. Man, I plan to do maybe some internships and grab a mentor and things like that. Cause so far it's really just been, man, me just spitballing. Like making it look good, that part easy. I can do that. That's really what I wanted to do. That's the part that I set out to do. That was the mission, to man make it look good. Something from Kansas City, something from me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really big on, man, Kansas City, mentioning Kansas City so much within my brand. But Kansas City is a huge part of my life, in the shape of my perspective and the man part of the vision. Honestly, because everybody wants to represent Kansas City, but my mission was to make Kansas City look good, make something here in the city be like, yo, I went to Kansas City and I saw such and such and such and such, and oh man, it was this guy that I met and he did these things that wasn't just cool, but they looked really good, and he added perspective and color and vision to the city. And that was really my thing, just making the city look good. Even as a musician, I said, man, I just want to make the city look good, because I guess from my perspective, nobody had been polished that came from here. Nobody had been a front man besides like Tech Nine, and Tech Nine has a style, but it's not like, dang it. I guess you could say it's mainstream. He got his fan base, he makes his money, but I think sometimes from my perspective, the city don't really appreciate him from a visual standpoint. We understand that he's a legend, and we understand that he is. At least I understand that he's a legend, and I understand his impact on the culture and, you know what I'm saying, the world in itself. But I think sometimes us from Kansas City, and that's just from what I see when I go out, because he the king of merch. He the king of merch,
big time,
over me. But when I go out, when I, you know what I'm saying, look at the streetwear here, it's not too many people here that's buying or that's representing Tech Nine through their clothes. And so from when I look at it like that, it was like, man, the game wide open. And so now it's me, it's May Mob, it's Deep Rooted, it's Crown King, Heart Black Lives. Like, that's where we have gotten in the position to make things look better, and so we are. But me, I'm purposely doing it. I'm doing it with intention. It's a it's a conscious, yeah, it's a conscious decision to do, and that's just how I lay out.
And I'll tell you what, as you're speaking, I'm realizing the impact you've had on my life with your brand. And when I first saw you online, it was Santa Clark, right?
Dang.
Two Christmases ago. This podcast is just an 8-pound, 6-ounce baby podcast, right? At the time, I was like 2 months in, and I saw you, advertising for, I think it was haircuts for the homeless.
Yep.
Which I think is something also too you do annually. And then the no rain, no flowers thing, bro. Like, my wife, I got my wife wears her shirt with pride around town. I'm dressed head to toe. I went on to Bring About podcast with Gabriel wearing this. Unfortunately, I was like this, but I told you, I said, hey, you see the little white thing and you see the go out and create again. And, for me, there's no other brand in Kansas City that I represent with so much pride. And I know part of that is too, I have the unfair advantage. It's like, I know you, man. Like, I love you, dude. Brother from another mother, man. We share memes and we shoot messages back and forth. And it's like, we're like doing life together in a way. Right. So it's like, I know you, man. Like, I'm already a super fan of you, but the impact that I see you having on people, like, people just freaking love you, bro. And like, whenever you do a pop-up, whenever there's a big day at 8-11, your stories on Instagram, I mean, it's like, how they have the little bar for how long the story is?
Oh, yeah.
You have like 50 little fives because it's just everybody wants to get a picture with you. Straight up. You're like, let's get a picture. Do you want to take a picture? And you're like, you just have an energy, man. I saw that one day too. Sharon had his kids there, and you were teaching them songs, and you were doing something, bro. Man, but it's like wherever you are, there you are. Yeah, you taught him the handshake. That's right. I remember, man. And I told Sharon about that. I was like, what's he doing, dude? And he told me, but I forgot, obviously. There's no other Clark Roosevelt, man. And that's why, my observation too was before we got on, it looks like you're sitting in your throne room,
yeah,
with the backdrop, because dude, it's like your brand is who you are. And speaking of growth, like, you found a way to get that out into the world, right? So like, you wanted to talk about upcycling. We talked about that a little bit last time too, right? And I think that's something that's resonated with our listeners. Like, one of my friends actually is into thrifting and, using things that are perfectly fine and, bringing them into her home and all that. And I sent her your episode and I said, hey, you gotta hear from this guy, right? But like, a lot of our listeners have loved what you're doing. There was a fashion show that you had all your clothing in last year. Just on the subject of that growth, man, and upcycling and how that's going, I feel like there's something to be learned there, because we talked last time, some folks will, they order a bunch of stuff in bulk from like overseas, they bring it in, they print on the shirt or whatever. You're also finding stuff from local stores. There's pieces like you're wearing right there, your shirt there. That's not a mass produced thing. Like I'm guessing that's 101.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So,
I started thrifting in like 2009, I believe, 2008, 2009. It's been a part of my fashion, my whole transition from gaining all the weight that I gained when I was 450 pounds, to to where I'm at now. And so once I started printing things myself, I started making my own samples. Like everything I had thrifted in my closet, I'm like, man, let me just put some on here and see what this looks like. I had messed up a bunch of shirts. It was just like, I shouldn't have did this. I messed up one of my favorite, a couple of my favorite shirts, and so, but I would be wearing it out, and so, through the process, the ons and offs of business, doing it now, not doing it, doing it now, not doing it, and man, I would, I've always been I've always strived to be the flyest in the room, or the the flyest person you see that day. It's just, man, it's part of my makeup. They call them dandies. I don't know if I qualify to be a dandy. But or I, yeah, I don't know if I would be, but a dandy is just like a black man that is really into fashion, has a really personal, distinct style, and the way he carries himself. His style is just a part of his whole persona, fashion. And I would like to think that I got an aesthetic. When I pull up, I got a feel, I got an aura.
Yep.
Man, I got a character about my dress. I have a distinct feeling about the way I put it together. It's harmony. It's a part of my makeup. It's a part of my build. Like if you was building a video game character, Dandy, or a vision for fashion, a vision for presentation, a vision for, man, carry along, if that makes sense. Like,
Absolutely.
and so within that, people would see me out. I would wear it at our vending events. I'll pull up to a vending event and have the clothes, but I'll be wearing something like this, and people always, oh man, I need one of them that you got on, and I'm like,
I don't know what to tell you.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, basically. But then I was just like, man, let me see, let me go ahead and let me print a couple up and see what they look like while I was at the shop. I think it was the second season, and when I presented them, like people was just like, oh yeah, this is what I've been waiting on. You know what I'm saying? People who've been fans for a while, it was what they had been waiting on. But then it also brought in a whole new fan base. And then I coupled it with the No Rain No Flowers. It really just they go hand in hand. Because No Rain No Flowers and Second Chance Clothes, to me, things have personality. Just the way I see the world. Like if it's something in my life and it's personable, in my mind it has a personality. It speaks to me. Not like it don't talk to me, but it speaks to me. Especially if I guess that's me giving it meaning. That's me giving it meaning. That's me giving it purpose. And so, I'm saying, each piece as I'm making it, is I'm putting that same emphasis into it so that somebody carries it along. And that's I'm saying, at one point it was somebody's throwaway. You know what I'm saying? It saw the rain. At one point it was just like somebody, whatever they went through in it, and at some point it was just time for them to separate. And that's the rain. But then it gets a new life. That's the flowers. And so it's hand in hand. It's man, it's yin and yang. You know, and so the No Rain No Flowers it was a perfect combination to do an upcycling. And so when it's just been falling together, honestly. And I've been the No Rain No Flowers is so it's one of those, as a designer, as a streetwear designer, you want to get something that can just last, like no matter what. It don't matter. If I would have dropped No Rain No Flowers in 2003, it would have the same effect that it do now, where people would see it, it would resonate, and they would want it. But to add on top of that, it has meaning to it for people. It really resonates with every walk of life, every form of life, because it's the process of life. And so with having those two things together, wanting to be more sustainable, um, wanting to promote sustainability, we'll have some things that'll be mass produced, like our tees and our hoodies and our streetwear essentials. But I'm gonna have a cap on that. I gotta have a cap on that, because that's a part of our mission is to put a cap on it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
if we would put a cap on it, if society would just put a cap on it, we would be okay, or the process of it would be okay. I gotta understand it now that it's just something that's just gonna happen. Like the cat out the bag, and the thing about the phrase "the cat's out the bag" is, if you got a cat in the bag, the cat like, hey buddy, get me about this bag. And once you get out the bag, you got a situation. It's either gonna be attacking you, but if you wanted to get back in the bag, it already know what's been in the bag. It's like, nah,
right.
I'm not going back in that bag, boss. If you want to get me back in that bag, it's a fight. The cat gonna fight for its life, and so nothing of it like that. Is I understand that it's a process, but now it's about me just understanding I can't save nobody, and done trying to save everybody, and just trying to leave a lasting impact and help people improve themselves. Because
Absolutely,
I
man.
can't save I can't save a soul. I believe my purpose is to convince folks to believe in themselves and break from the system, or not. Let me bring it back. The algorithm gonna be after me now.
Hey, we're anti-algorithm on this show, man.
Okay.
Can't stand the algorithm, bro.
I'm trying to stand in. I'm one of the people. I'm trying to. Oh, we can talk about AI too. But
yeah, we will,
I'm one of
bro.
them people. I treat the thing about AI is AI allows some things to talk back and to respond and to communicate with me. So where like I can't give my shirts a personality yet, you know what I'm saying? But I can get a refrigerator a person, you know what I'm saying, a persona, and it'll talk back to me. I can give the TV, my phone, all of these things.
The devices.
Yeah, I can give all these devices a personality, a name. You know what I'm saying? Once you give something a name, it has a personality. Or what I don't think we're like when you name your dog, or when you name something. When you name your dog, you're naming a personality, because the dog's a personality. But when you name an object, or you see an object as a piece, when you give it a name, you also give it a personality and a persona.
Right. Yeah,
A
people have
point
been
of
naming their
reference.
cars for centuries, man.
Hey man.
I used to have guitars.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's first question was, "What are you going to name her?"
Straight up. Yep.
Yeah, people have been doing it forever. Before we get into AI, I wanted to ask you, you talked about it, and you've touched on sustainability. You touched on putting a cap on the streetwear essentials, for example, the things that you'll get shirts in, you'll print and stuff. You also mentioned that in your transition to, being at the 811 space, there were things that you wanted to do as far as getting your business acumen up, right? Like,
Oh yeah, yep.
Running a business, scaling. What are some of the lessons or the things that the learnings that you've had since last time you were on, man? Just what have you learned about the business aspects to keep yourself, with your financials? You mentioned financials. That's what you did in the beginning. You talked about getting financials and making it scalable. What are some of the nuggets or the bangers that you've gotten along the way to help you with that, like running a business?
So one thing is man, you have to being on time, man, it's a struggle because you got to be your own boss. You really have to be your own boss. You have to set a standard and be disciplined to make it happen. Otherwise, it'll fall apart, and the world not gonna wait. The world not gonna wait. The real world not gonna wait. It's gonna keep moving. That's just a part of the world gonna keep moving until it stops. When it stops, that's when it's a wrap. Or at least, you know what I'm saying, business wise. And if you want to run a business, like that's just how it is. It's not a fairy tale. It's not a it's not a joke. Like it's a serious thing. Uh which is something I had to learn because that's how when I look back at it, that's how I was moving. That's what my perspective was, just what I know now about life and about business. It's like, dang, when I look at it, it's like, yo, I really was doing all of that. Clueless, completely unaware of some things, and it could be the circumstances that I chose for my life, where like I set myself up where it was like, man, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna chase my dreams, and that's what I did blindly, the best I could, uh, through the troubles that I had and with the knowledge that I had. You know what I'm saying? And just where I'm at now, it's like I look back, it's like, yo, I did some things I had no business doing. I had done some things that to some would seem impossible. I had been in spaces where some folks wish they could just like be in. And it was just off of really just believing, having faith. Cause I didn't know what I was doing, but it was just like, it's what I want to do. And there's these opportunities. I'm a go, and the opportunities I can get, I'm gonna get them. And if I make more, hopefully I make more opportunities from that, and I achieve. And I was chasing something that didn't even exist. That's why I was doing things that didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? That now that I got to understand that it don't that what I was what I was looking for didn't exist. It's like, all right, so now what I'm gonna do? That's why I was like, I gotta get this business. I gotta understand this business so it can grow. And I can go and give me something for. I can go get what I want. I can go live the life that I want to live in the space that I want to be in, the space I want to be in, be the places I want to be at, uh, meet people and affect people. Continue to be infectious, like you said earlier about, man. It's only one Clark, and it's everybody
That's
love
right.
Clark, which is
Everybody
like
does.
it's a man. That's a blessing. Yeah, I can't. Man, it's such a blessing to really have that. To really have that about myself. I try my the best I tell people is like, man, I try my best to be kind. Sometimes I can be a little too nice. So I understand that, or I guess within relationships that I've been in, I can be too nice. But like with people, I'm just kind. I'm present. Uh, I'm a constant contributor of art, presentation, energy. I'm funny. When you ask my friends, they tell I might be my friend's funniest friend. You know what I'm
Dude,
saying? On top
hey,
of
folks at home,
hey,
fart,
hey,
those people, that's my pronouns, those people.
hey, don't
Dude, I
see
was, I was dying in laughter yesterday. I was crying. I cried. I watched that reel I watched that reel. Like I'm at least 7 or 8 of those views on that reel. I sent it to my wife. I was like, I love this guy. I can't believe I get to know this guy. Dude, you're hilarious, bro. And so, not to break from what you're saying, I want to just kind of take
Straight
that
up.
down a path, but like, what's it like being in that space, 811 space, those other entrepreneurs, man? Like, what are some ways that you feel like you've been able to contribute to that environment? And then also, like, how have they helped you? How have they inspired you? And what's the dynamic there, man? You're actually the first person I've interviewed that is doing business in the 811 space. I'd love to know about like all the
Straight up.
things like you're talking about that make you great and unique, and how you've helped others, and then how have they made impacts on you, man? Because it seems like just there's no other 811 space, right? So like,
How to scale and just being around is I'm the only man here. I'm the only male here. The rest is
I didn't
women.
realize that.
But like I be saying, man, I'm the standalone masculine energy. You know what I'm saying? Just being here, you know what I'm saying? It's a warm environment. All the ladies are they're creatives as well. They man, it's warm. You know what I'm saying? They as entrepreneurs we going through it. And you know what I'm saying, I see them also going through it as well. Appreciate you, man. It's the mailman. Uh
uh
but it's been an honor to be able to be a part of their lives and them be a part of mine. Uh Also, I mean, we've been shooting the content. We've been working on shooting the content from here. It's been great to be a spearhead in that. It's been a wonderful experience. Just you know, what I'm saying, having building relationships with them. They are a very smart group of women. They are very caring, very loving, very welcoming. It's been love since since I stepped foot in here, honestly. But like that's for me. It's everywhere I go, for the most part. The only place I went somewhere where it was like at when I work when I'm at a job, because don't nobody know me, don't nobody really care about what I got going on. Uh, you know what I'm saying? Plus, I talk a lot, and I understand that may get on some people's nerves, but like I talk a lot of shit. I don't, or I, it just I don't stop. I I
That's
don't,
what I love about you,
and I
man.
don't see no reason to stop.
No.
People like you know, say, but some people just like, man, I wish he would just. They wish I would put a cap on it, but like I don't see no. Man, I hit a realization when I was like maybe like 21, 22. It's like, yo, why be serious when I don't have to be?
Mm,
That's one thing. Like, if I don't have to be serious, why am I trying to be so serious? It's something that perplexed me about people. Saying that I met, and they just like, why are you always joking? And it's just like, why not? Why not?
you know,
When I have to have a serious conversation, if I want what I gotta say to resonate, one thing that's gonna help it resonate is if it's funny, if they
that's
laughed
right.
about it. Like
That's right.
if you say something and it makes somebody mad, when you say something and you make somebody laugh, it's the same effect, but it's in the opposite direction. And so, just my understanding, my parents, they funny. Yeah, they always laughing. We in the house that I grew up in, like everybody got a really strong laugh. All my mama, my daddy, my sister, and you know, what I'm saying, this part of the reason why the people who love us is the laugh factor. I know I have an infectious laugh.
Yeah, you do.
I didn't know for a while. As I learned myself and realized myself and became self aware, it's just like, yes, it's so. But like here, man, they tolerate me talking smack all the time, man. Sometimes they
You,
laugh at me, sometimes they don't. But
Well,
like
you know,
it's
they're your
part of it.
test group too, right? It's like sometimes the jokes, I do this with my coworkers too. Like my jokes, I'm riffing, it's like spaghetti on a wall.
Hey,
If
straight
they
up.
don't laugh, I'm like, all right, well, maybe I need to redo back to the drawing board with that joke. Like I made some weird joke the other day at work that didn't land, but then like 2 minutes later, I made one that made the entire row lose it,
Hey, that's all that matters.
And
It's that one.
that
That's the one that matters.
that one reaction, that was great, dude.
That's the one
And
that matters.
it's good. I identify with you so much on that, man, because like being the comedy relief in a workplace.
Hey, man, it's
and
it's a tough job.
It is, man. And as you were talking, I was thinking about this too. Just my observation, bro to bro here. Like, I think it was Winston Churchill himself. There was somebody who said, always take your work seriously, never take yourself seriously. Right. And there's parts where I think you've got to have fun with your work. But when I look at you, bro, like right now, your backdrop, there's plenty of serious intention in the room.
Sure.
All of that is mindfully created. There is a focus, but that doesn't mean you have to be this serious businessman all the way. In fact, the world is full of those guys. Why would I want to be one of them?
Yeah, when I see those people, I don't want to. That's not somebody.
Dude,
do I want their money? I would appreciate having their money, but like
yes,
their personality,
yeah.
nah, man, I couldn't.
No,
I couldn't.
No. And who if somebody took you and then a serious business person, they said, all right, you got to spend a couple days with this guy. Who do you think they're going to pick, right? They're going to pick the person that they're going to be able to laugh with, the one who's going to make the time go by and fly. And, if you can get that out, like I love how a lot of your content actually, it has nothing to do with the clothes. Have you noticed that about yourself?
So, man, my bro hit me with it. He was just like, man, my homie Epitome, Hood Dude Food Review. He was
I just sent him a message, dude. He made a new reel and he was talking about quitting 10 times, but he kept going 11. That last one he dropped, I literally just messaged him right before this.
Man,
love all that stuff he's doing, man. Sorry.
Everything
had to give him his flowers.
Dropped, man, we talk about it. We talk about it all the time. Like, and he hit me with one and he said, he was like, man, you out here acting like you a clothes salesman. Like, he was like, man, you more than that. He was like, I know you hustling, you trying to get some money because you got to live and you ain't got a whole bunch of bread. But he was just like, dog, show your personality. He was like, man, you do that. He said, man, you do that on the internet, ain't nothing nobody can do with it. It ain't nothing you can't do. He was just like, man, people love you. You got it, and do more than that. And so I do need to show the clothes more, and that would help. But now I'm at the point where it's like, man, I want to tell. I'm active in telling my story. I'm active in, not just on Facebook, because if for a while, or just like Facebook was a starter, so that's been my main place where I tell my story. So I have a fan base over there. But now that I understand, I'm in a space where like I understand the world. I'm looking at how the world thinking. Man, I've been studying life. I've been studying nature. When I say I've been studying life, I mean I've been studying nature. I've been studying the Bible. I've been studying science. And the other day I just had to realize it. I was like, man, why am I just always like looking at these types of things? You know what I'm saying? Looking for this knowledge, is because I'm trying to understand myself. I'm trying to understand what I'm going through. I'm trying to understand how to get myself to where I want to be. So I'll be watching everything. I'll be watching everybody, and I'll be making predictions, theories, and philosophies. And I'm a visionary. So as I'm seeing everything and I'm realizing everything, I'm also realizing these things about myself. What's up, Sierra? Say what's up. This Sierra, she thrift the runway.
Sierra, nice to meet you. I know she can't hear me because of the headphones, but
he's saying what's up.
Hey.
But so yeah, I'm telling my story now. I'm being intentional, but I'm not just telling my story, but I'm creating a universe. creating a universe. So I'm bringing along an ideology that's based in God and self, in the God in self. And I'll be joking around saying I'm gonna start a cult. I was
Well, you
telling
got like a
Sierra,
cult.
yeah, hey, that's what, when I look at my fan base, and I look at my fan base, because I know I be saying, I know I say things, I don't, I know sometimes I can say wild things, but there's always principle. I speak and I move with principle. I speak and I move with morals. I speak and I move with, man, fortitude. I don't say things. I don't intentionally hurt anybody. And I understand that nobody is intentionally hurting anybody, but they're protecting themselves. So when I having that understanding of things, it allows me, it is put me in a space where I give everybody grace at all times.
That came up last time we talked, was
Gotta
when you were talking about that. And I would love whatever you got for us on that
you
with the
man,
grace thing, bro. You talked
like
about your parents, working with the homeless.
yo,
Mm,
everybody was so to like expound on that, like you
yeah.
gotta give everybody grace like they a child. Like just cause you turn 18 don't mean yo when I thought about it, it's like just cause somebody turns 18 don't mean that my grace, I gotta turn my grace down. Like, nah, if anything, now that you 18 and you out here and you on your own, man, cause we all out here and we know what's out here. We all are conscious of what's out here. And as men, we know that it's even that it's we see the danger of what's out here. And one thing I've understood, one thing I've come to understand about life since, because man, when we talked last time, I was still in a relationship that done fell apart, and it was just like in place as a the place as a man that you're gonna always find grace, or that you should always find grace, is in the brotherhood. It's in the your band of men that you have that see the extra danger. You know what I'm saying? Because we've created a space where women they don't see it. They behind the walls that we've built within the fortitude of the infrastructure. So they don't see it, because that comes with security. That's what we provide. That's what the male side of the apex predator species that moves in a family unit. That's what he is supposed to provide. He's supposed to hide the dangers from outside. And we, as a species, as the apex predator of the planet, we have created a castle. We have created a territory that is completely fortified from outside. If you don't see a bear in the inner city, well, I guess you do see a bear in the inner city, but like, you know what I'm
The news
saying,
last week, yeah.
the mountain lions ain't in the inner city. You know what I'm saying, we that's on the outside. And so once when you know what I'm saying, when I went through what I went through with the relationship, it opened my eyes to life. It made me bitter for a little bit. I was hurt by it because man, I don't know a lot. You know what I'm saying, the day after I had a breakup situation at the shop, not a you know what I'm saying, canceled all my plans for the shop. So my long term and my short term goals, it just like dissipated. So I was just kind of like just out here, honestly, just like wandering, just like I have absolutely no idea what I'm gonna do. But man, the night of the day that we had opened the shop last year, I did a show. It was man, that was my first headline in a fashion show of my own. It was, and I called it a lookbook experience. Brought people to the shop. I created a runway out of the grass. Had people come. I had models. All my models were like local artists. And I had two people open for me. I had Jazz open for me, Kai Colors and Swooby open for me. And as I performed, I had my people walk. in the No Rain No Flowers Upcycling. It was, man, incredible. Just like flat out incredible. And but I learned that in the brotherhood, I learned this from, man, it was a few things that happened. My best friend that night, was just like, man, come out to the, man, wonderful, wonderful night. Man, it was under duress because my girl had broke up with me like 3 days before. So it was like, sheesh, uh, you know, but, saying, people came out, supported, sold some clothes. My bro was like, man, we having a bonfire at the crib, pull up to the crib. I'm like, of course, because I ain't really feel like going out. And saying, because that don't leave nothing. That leaves a whole lot of going out after a breakup and to party. That don't, man. It
Right.
just,
Right.
I done seen it.
You're in a vulnerable state, right?
Yeah,
You
and
just,
like in the
yep.
space to make bad decisions.
Right.
Saying, I just seen it just being security at a club and just, seeing these type of situations. It's like, yeah, man, my girl just broke up with me. Either you're gonna be doing too much or you're gonna be sad
Right.
because you around people, or just for me, that's my perspective on it. And so I'm like, yeah, I'll pull up. So I pull up to the crib, and he had, man, my nephew. He got his son, his girlfriend, and his dogs, and his dogs love me because, man, we a part of this. I'm a part of their pack. To them, like, they still have, dogs still have that instinct, and so I'm gonna get to that. So when I get there, and man, it's a third dog, puppy, and I'm like, all right, it hit me because he had a dropped a litter. His dog Diamond had dropped a litter in November of a couple years ago, well, 6 months before, and the dog come right to me, the little puppy, and we was locked in, and I'm just rubbing her, and I'm like, yo, why y'all still got this last dog? His girl was like, oh, that's No Name. I asked her, I said, what her name? She said, oh, her name No Name. And I was like, what come her name No Name? She said, because she ain't got no name. We try to get rid of her. Or we waiting for somebody to come in. We waiting for somebody to come and grab her. And I'm just like, and she said, you want her? And I'm like, I think she playing with me. Cause I had been saying, man, I want a dog. Part of the reason why the relationship fell apart is because she didn't want no dog. I had been wanting a dog. And so I'm like, yeah. This 3 days after my girl break up with me. And so, like, shit, about I said, I got to leave her here because I got to get a cage. I got to get all these things for her to stay in my apartment. Because when I bring her you get a dog can make the crib stink if you don't take care of it. So I'm like, I
Right.
got to prep the crib for her. So I end up, and I give away 17 pairs of shoes, throw away a bunch of things I just didn't need. Like, it was really cleansing, of my crib. Put away a bunch of stuff that my girl gave me. I'm not the type to throw things away. If it's something that's big and like in the way and I'm gonna see it every day, I gotta get rid of it. But like if it's something small, I just got a bin where I just got all bunch of my stuff from my exes that that's sentimental because the relationships, they didn't work out, but like they were a contribution to who I am. But anyways, man, I'll go and get the dog, and just like, what's crazy is today is the anniversary that I got the dog, that I brought her home. And just in that relationship, it helped me understand the pack mentality, because it was my first time having a dependent, having a pet of my own while I'm out here on my own. I ain't got no kids. And so, like, that connection with her really helped me understand a lot about life and about having a pack and about the relationship of a band of brothers. You know what I'm saying? I've always had a band of brothers, but it helped me really, this part of life, that segment really helped me understand what it was and how it is. because, man, I became unbearable for a lot of the women in my life just because I was bitter about that situation. And so they had to remove themselves, which, you know what I'm saying, as they was like leaving, like one after one, like it was in like a month and a half,
Mm.
where like, you know what I'm saying, either they had to go do something on their own, or it was just my energy has shifted because it was just a new realization of life, of just how cold it is. And so it kind of made me bitter, which is, it's a part of the process, but it helped me understand the one thing that stood still was the brotherhood. It was my mama and it was the brotherhood. They didn't go nowhere. And I realized that my pops got sick in January and was in the hospital for a month and a half. And I was up there every day, late at night till 2, 3 in the morning. And it helped me realize, dang, my pops is a part of the brotherhood as well. But
That
anyways,
was this year,
yeah, it
Clark?
was this year. And
Okay.
so, it, as a man, if you got the right brotherhood, that's where you're going to find grace always. It should be an unconditional grace within there. Like, because we all going to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And, you know what I'm saying, the brotherhood also holds you accountable to your morals and to your principles. But you're supposed to always find grace within there. No matter what you do, like, you kill somebody or you murder a bunch of people, you know what I'm saying, I, as your brother, is supposed to be at your trial in support. I don't condone what he did, but like, that's my dog. He going through something right now. Though I don't agree with what he did, I know that as a man, we all need somebody, and we all and that somebody is the brotherhood. Jesus had a brotherhood. Without the
Yep.
brotherhood, without Jesus, without the brotherhood, the story don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? The story don't get the miracles don't get done. You know what I'm saying? If he ain't got the brotherhood, whenever he would hold assembly, he would have to do everything. So he
Yeah,
wouldn't, you know what I'm saying, you can't do everything and the miracle. That's literally
absolutely.
everything, and you can't do everything.
It does seem that that's the temptation for a lot of men, especially as they get older, is to isolate. But also, the more I've seen just guys in my church network, guys in my neighborhood, guys that I meet at the workplace, there is a desire to really be known and seen by other men, right? Like to
Yeah,
know,
it's it's
like
a
like,
it's a
dude,
it's a
who's in my
respect thing.
corner
It's a respect.
and who
Like,
can
yep,
I be in the corner for?
yep,
But because we can't, and I think the world too, the one of the messages of the world, that the world being the enemy part of the world, is that you can do it all on your own, and that is like, I've realized. I mean, trust me, I've seen me. My saying is, I've seen me do it. I've seen me try to live on my own. I did not get very far, if far at all, by myself,
hey,
and you know we can fall into it. I feel like, especially like really talented dudes like yourself, right? Like we can get into, like, there's this sort of trap of like, well, I can figure it out, I could do it. But if we open ourselves up to other people, especially guys that have shared in our same struggle, I mean, we're going to get so much more insight, man.
I
uh,
think one thing too. I also started like really studying the Bible, or what, studying the Bible. So study the Bible and I study the story of Jesus in two different entities, in two different spaces, because the Bible in itself is a it's an instruction booklet or a rule book, but it's guidelines to us to live most abundant. And so, within this rule book, there's stories, and the greatest story ever told is that of Jesus Christ, of a man. You know what I'm saying? And so, within that, it's just like I I dug deeper past the fluff, because the Bible has the way a lot of people present the Bible. They present the Bible as a lot of fluff, and it's like you grow up in the church, you hearing the fluff all the time, especially in like Sunday school. They just give you the fluff. They give you the fairy tale part of it. They give you the parts that's hard to believe. And but once I started really studying the Bible, I started to understand that these figures in the Bible that was doing these great things were also humans going through the same things that I'm going through as a being. They may not be paying bills or driving cars and smartphones, but relationships, behavior, trials and tribulations, sin, addiction, affliction, confliction, society norms, separating yourself from society, Jesus having to go out into the desert and be by himself, be out in the wilderness. And it's like when I realized the part about him going out into the wilderness, it reminded me of what I've had to do. I've had to go out and like when I had to separate from the world when my best friend passed, like I couldn't watch TV shows, I couldn't watch movies because it was like, man, I could see the propaganda and I could see the fakeness, I could see the phoniness of it, the fluff. I was tired of the fluff. But once I started watching nature, it was like, yo, nah, it's eat or be eaten. Constantly at right outside the door, something is eating something else.
I noticed you followed Nature is Metal, that account.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Something's
Nature,
always getting eaten in that
is
feed, bro.
every man. Nature is so man.
You
It's
see
so amazing.
hippos with half-eaten faces on that
Yeah,
one, man. I mean, yeah,
it's really
brutal.
going down out there. We are living in fluff. We're living in
Mm.
fluff. We have provided fluff. We got our women and our children in fluff, and we are living in fluff. But once I started studying nature, when I started studying nature in the Bible, then it all started making sense. Every last bit of it. And man, my favorite scriptures in the Bible, back to grace, my favorite scriptures, my favorite situations, the real life situations that I can relate to was the ones about forgiveness and grace. John 8:7, when they bring the lady into to Jesus as he's teaching, they bring the adulteress in. He stands up and he like, hey y'all, man, I'm busy right now, but like if you know what I'm saying, y'all want me to cast judgment on this woman, but I can't. And y'all can't neither. You know what I'm saying? Since I see that y'all don't understand that y'all can't, whichever the one of y'all who ain't never did nothing wrong, y'all be the first one, and then we all gonna join in. And he go back to what he doing.
I'll read it real quick.
Oh yeah,
I
come
got
on.
it pulled up, bro.
Yeah.
John 8:5
8-5.
CSB in the 10 is where he says what you're saying, but I want to just give our listeners context. In the law of Moses commanded us to stone such women. What do you say? They asked this to trap him in order that they might have evidence to accuse him. And this is Jesus, right? He always takes
Hey,
the third way. He can't
hey.
be trapped. Put him in
You
a binary
can't.
equation.
You
He
can't.
tells you
Hey, listen, and
you can't.
that's
Jesus,
I strive. That's where I want to
yes,
be.
sir.
That
And
is where I want to be. Once
he
I'm
said
there, it don't even matter. Nothing else matters.
Jesus stooped down and started writing on the ground with his finger. When they persisted in questioning him, he stood up and said to them, "The one without sin among you should be the first to throw a stone at her." Then he stooped down again and continued writing on the
That's
ground.
the cold. That's the coldest. That is the coldest move
He
ever,
was the coldest, bro.
ever. And like
Love Jesus,
I
man.
was already living. I was already living with that. But when I seen that what was going on, because I told you about the story about me the last time. I told you when I went to Texas and found out that was my realization that my life and Jesus' life was a parallel,
Mm.
and that my purpose was to be like Jesus, was to keep this parallel going. And so when I seen that scripture, it was like, man, that's exact when people, because I'm a huge I'm a I love Kanye. He's been a contributor to my art. He's been a contributor to my life and my vision and my perspective on life for a very long time. Not just because of his music, but because of what he talks about. When you remove the fluff out of Kanye's conversation, the fluff that they give, because that's all the media do. The media give us the fluff of Kanye, but they don't give, you know what I'm saying, the actual, when he's saying, hey, go out there and believe in yourself. If you want to do it, go do it. You got the power to do it. You just got to believe. Our biggest problem is that we don't believe in ourselves. And he believes in himself absolutely. Absolutely. And that bothers people because, for one, they get in the fluff of his conversation because he's also, you gotta be on the spectrum to be a great person, or what society calls the spectrum. You gotta be there. Otherwise, you following the guidelines of somebody else to be somebody else. The society's ideas, society's norms is not built for our lives to parallel the path of Jesus Christ. It's built to parallel consumerism. It's built to parallel being someone else, looking at someone else, being jealous of someone else, and trying to be someone else. That's why the cosmetic industry is at a build is top 2, top 3 industries in the world. Why is
Take us
makeup?
to church, Clark.
Why is
Take us to
makeup?
church, bro.
Why else is makeup? Why else is makeup right behind fuel? We need fuel to get around, like from place to place, but we need makeup and cosmetic surgery to get around through life because we trying to be somebody else. We trying to be presented as more presentable than what we actually are, when who we are is already presentable. And so, with gaining this understanding of life, it was like, damn, I have to give absolutely everybody grace at all times because we just trying to do our best. We just trying to do our best. So, like in the scripture, people would bring Kanye to me, like, yo, look at what he's done now. Look at what he said. And I'm like, y'all, I I I can't judge him. I said, for one, Kanye West is somewhere else, and he not my homie. So I can't call him and hold him accountable because he not my homie. But I understand that he just living life like I'm just living life. And some of his outbursts I relate to because I go through the same things he go through because we similar in nature. We similar in build, we similar in mind frame. And this is why I understand him and who he is. So, but even outside of that, if I didn't understand that, when you bring them to me for me to judge them, I'm gonna tell y'all that I can't. I'm gonna tell y'all that I can't, and I won't, and I will not try to. I will give them grace. I will grant understanding to the situation because nothing happens. Nothing happens for no reason. Everything happens. Every that's this. This is how I figured out. This is how I found out that God is absolutely real. That everything in existence has a design. Everything has a purpose. Every single thing, to the very small microscopic animals at the bottom of the ocean, to the big blue whales in the ocean, to the flies that fly around the trash. Everything has design. To put That's from a nature standpoint, but to a human standpoint, every building, every road, every fence, every chair, every shoe, every pair of pants, every hat, every headphone, my setup, I had to design it. I sat down, drew it out. I was sitting here till 10, 11 at night, just staring at the wall. How I'm up there to get my grass up. I stared at it and like, yo, how I'm gonna do this? And from the ground, I looked at it and I figured it out. You know what I'm saying? And so, but if you wipe away all these things that we've created and you look at the world in itself, Jesus, listen, somebody had to put it together for it to work the way I see and the way I know that it works. For a flock of butterflies, the monarch butterfly, it migrates from Canada to Mexico and back through 3 different lifespans, 3 different sets of butterflies. But then the one from Mexico to Canada is one butterfly. It's one lifespan, the whole trip. For that to happen, that's a plan. That's a plan. That's a, hey, y'all know what time it is? We got to get to Mexico, or we got to start this journey so that we can keep the bloodline going. Somebody designed that. Somebody designed that process. Somebody didn't just design the butterfly, but they designed the process. They set the plan in place for the butterfly species to exist in this specific way, because this specific way also contributes to the spreading of pollen and the refertilization of the food that we eat. Somebody had to put that in place, and that was going before we got here. Before we became conscious of mind, that was going on. And somebody had to design it. Somebody had to put it together. And the only explanation is God.
Yep. Absolutely, brother.
The only explanation
Absolutely.
that I can even fathom to understand is God. And the Bible say
Absolutely.
we was made in his image. So we are little designers.
Yep.
We all making all
Absolutely,
of
dude.
this.
Everyone's a creator, man. We
Every
talked
last
about
one
that
of us.
too last time.
Every last one of us is a creator. And so in God created the principles of a brotherhood for us to
Yep.
prosper. I seen some videos where some men who had they just been playing video games with each other for a decade finally said, "Hey, y'all, man, let's meet up. Let's all
Yep.
be in Houston at John's house and
That's right.
meet up." And when they meet up, it's like it's like,
Yeah.
and people who it helped me understand video games and the addiction to video games. It's not really it is an addiction to video games, but when you meet people online that you resonate with, y'all going through and y'all completing missions, y'all
Yep.
banding together as a team to complete a task. That's a relationship. I learned it.
Absolutely,
I
dude.
learned it. I love basketball, not just watching it, but playing it and being a part of it, being around it. And I learned that Buddy that created basketball to spread the gospel.
Wow.
He created basketball because he was in Germany and he couldn't communicate with the locals. So he created something. He said, "Man, let me make a game. Let me come up with a game that we can all play so that we can all fellowship in the spirit." And it was when I found out, I was like, no wonder I like that. I was like, yo, it made me like my best friend. We've been best friends since we were 6. Our favorite thing to do together is play basketball.
Yeah.
Like when I lost weight and was able to come back and play basketball, that was the first person I was like, "Hey, bro, where we going?" He like,
Let's
"What you
go.
mean?" I'm like,
Find
I
me
was
a
like,
hoop.
"Bro, you just seen your boy lately. I'm ready to hoop." And like,
Yeah.
he was just as happy as me coming back as I was to come back. You know what I'm saying? And like when I think, I'm like, yo, and it's a sport that's about brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? People play 1-on-1, but that 1-on-1 is the Lions. That's the Lions in the, you know what I'm saying, what they do. They got 1-on-1 leagues now. They got 1-on-1 presentations where they play for tournament for $10,000.
Right.
That's the male Lions competing. That's them
Right.
competing. That's who is, man. We can compete. We can compete and be friendly
That's right, man.
because we
Absolutely.
understand as humans, we can compete and be friendly in the wild. When they compete, it's life or death. It's the
Absolutely.
bloodline. They fighting for the bloodline. They fighting not just for their
That's
life,
right.
but for the continuation of their bloodline. When the Rams is hitting, it ain't just, hey, what's up, bro? Let's have a good time. Nah, it's like, hey, bro, this is my territory. These my people. You gonna have to escape, or
Yep.
we gotta go at. Most of the
Right.
time, they don't. Most of the time, it's if I'm bigger or they bigger, I'll know. Like, okay, hey, buddy, I'm gonna go ahead and mind my business because you're a lot
Absolutely.
bigger than me. I'll be back next year.
when my horns get bigger,
Yeah, I'll be back. Yeah, you
man,
know what I'm saying. But right now, you got it,
dude.
boss. I ain't even got nothing to say about it. But just that's one thing I learned about. That's probably the biggest lesson I've learned about grace is as a man, go get you a brotherhood and um bask in that brotherhood and rely on that
Absolutely.
brotherhood. When you're going through something, you call your homie like, hey man, I'm going through it. He gonna know exactly what you talking about. He gonna know exactly what you talking about. If he,
That's right.
if he, especially if y'all in like the same profession or y'all both
Yep.
got a family, or because we didn't all had car problems, we didn't all had to
We
pay bills.
we
We didn't,
might as well link up,
yeah,
you know? Like
yeah.
we might as well when you're in those spaces, and that's I guess kind of my before we kind of close up here because I can hear you guys the shop's getting going here. My neighbor also decided to start mowing his lawn.
Oh,
but
I can't even hear you. I can't hear it.
he's on the other side right now. He'll be here soon. But the one of the things, man, that I feel like just kind of like thoughts just about entrepreneurship and just brotherhood as well is that people sometimes they're looking for the mentor and they think they got to find them from afar, or they're in a networking group, or they're in a place, they got to go out and look. And it's like, but if you're doing life with people, like you just said, that's probably the one that you're meant to be brothers with for right now,
Straight
right?
up.
Or to have in your tribe,
Was
right? So
so
you
like
might as well,
I
right?
believe that once they in the brotherhood, it's locked in. At least for me,
Right.
once you in,
Yep.
you locked in.
Absolutely.
The only way out, or the only way to relinquish yourself from my grace is if you hurt somebody's
Right.
children within the brotherhood, or you mess with someone's
Absolutely.
woman, or you mess up someone's money, which is their power. Yeah, if you cross those lines, yeah, but
Yeah.
boss, you gotta, or you cross somebody else in the brotherhood, you gotta dip, bro. You
You
cross
got the
you
code of conduct,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Everybody's got to
It's the
conduct
bro code.
themselves. Yep.
That's why when somebody say, "Oh man, bros over O's," yeah, bro, because they come and they go.
Right.
They come and they go. I seen a
Yep.
Western movie where Buddy said it's the brotherhood over everything. He said, man, in the I forgot what the movie was, but I was just at Mama and them house when they love watching westerns, and Buddy really broke the brotherhood down. He was just like, cause the ladies was trying to get him and his brothers to stop building businesses because creating a business back in those days was dangerous because everybody was trying to do it, and if you was trying to do it, people felt you was encroaching. And so women, like one of the brothers had passed, and the women was like, "Hey, yo, we us the women want you to get the other brothers to stop going build businesses, and let's just raise our families." And he was just like, "Hold up, man. First off, y'all try to do this. Y'all try to separate me from the brotherhood and talk to me because I'm the leader and convince me." He said, "But I don't make no decisions without them." And his wife was like, "But what about me?" And he was just like, "Women come and they go, but the brotherhood forever." And it just hit me because it was shortly after the breakup, and I was just like, "Yo!" It was after the breakup. It was after all of my homegirls, you know what I'm saying, took their hiatus. Because as they taking their hiatus, I'm just like, man, everybody dipping, and it made me even colder. It was just like, because I
Yeah.
didn't understand. I was just like, well, all right. And so for real, last summer was the first time I just did it on my own. I just focused on trying to find out what I wanted to do. And so it was just like, as they was leaving, I was telling myself, I was like, it don't matter. Jesus had to go out in the desert by himself. It is what it is.
That's
But
right.
when I seen that, it was like, dang, that's what it is. Like, it was right on time. It was a perfect explanation. And it, for one, it helped me it helped me because I was mad that all my homegirls was leaving. But it helped me understand them. It helped me
Right.
understand it helped me understand the role because they come to men for protection, not just physically, but emotionally. And I was no longer, from their perspective, I was no longer emotionally safe. So it
Right.
was like, once I understood that, and I understood once Buddy said, man, they come, they go. I was just like, dang. I was like, man, and it ain't just like in romantic relationships, it's just kind of how they wired. You know what I'm saying? Nothing,
Right.
and I can't be mad about it. I
That's right.
cannot be mad about it. I just got to accept it for what it was. And so that helped me really understand the relationship between a man and a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The protection and the those the being the stronger vessel, I'm supposed to provide protection and security.
Absolutely.
Uh, when I get into a
That's
relationship,
right.
territory for my family to roam free on. For, you know what I'm saying, my wife to prep the food, keep things together, you know what I'm saying, raise the children. Not to be like sexist or anything like that. Because she can also go and do her same thing. But in
Yeah.
the relationship of the mammals who are apex predators and they run a family unit, the man provides the protection of the territory from the dangers outside, and the woman does the hunting and the hunting and the rearing of the children within the territory. When the hunting gets for the lions, if they want to take down something that's a little bigger, that's when it's, hey pops, hey, we trying to get down this baby elephant or
Right.
this, you know what I'm saying, hippo. We really need some a giraffe or wildebeest. A wildebeest is 1,500 pounds.
Yep.
A lion is 300-400 pounds.
Right.
And it's like a female lion 400 pounds, male lion about 700. So it's like, yo, we got this wildebeest. We trying to feed the whole family on one push. Boss, we need you to pull up. And that's when
Absolutely,
he
man.
come. But like, just it helped me understand my role as a man and what I should be looking for in a partner, not just
Absolutely.
romantic wise, but also, you know what I'm saying, the brotherhood. Because the thing that in the wild, the brotherhood is key to your survival. Once I leave, once me as a teenager or young adult line, I'm tired of listening and doing what Buddy want to do, and I want to go and make
Right.
my own way and create my own thing and have my own space. Either I'm gonna have to fight him for his, or I gotta go and get mine. And I'd rather
Absolutely.
go get mine because Buddy know what he doing. He know how to fight. Pops know
Right.
how to get to it because he out in the world getting to it. So now,
Yep.
as I go off, hopefully my brothers come with me. But as humans, on our venture out, we run into other men, young men that's going through the same thing that we going through. That's how gangs are
Yep.
formed. When you got a
Right.
13-year-old boy that ain't got no
Absolutely.
daddy, he ain't got no mama, or his
Needs a
daddy
tribe.
gone, his mama done went out, his mama got to go, his mama got to pay the bills. So she got 3 jobs. And he got to look after if he got some younger siblings. But eventually gets to the point where it's like, man, I can't keep watching them. I got to go do my own thing.
Yep.
I can't be listening to mama yelling at me. I'm
Absolutely.
16, 17. Who she thinks she is? I got 50, 60 pounds on mama
Yep.
now. You know what I'm saying? That little
That's right.
switch ain't gonna work. But I wanna go and explore. I wanna go find out what life about. I wanna go get some money. I wanna go do these things. While I'm out here, you run into other boys who are misguided and don't have structure. And
Yep.
that's when gangs are formed. Cause
Absolutely.
this is when people ask, like, how they gonna call that their territory? They don't own nothing over there. But they are living beings in this plot of land that they have been wandering their whole life is their territory through nature.
It's their dominion. We talked about that last time.
Yes,
Dominion.
it's their dominion.
Yep.
So when Buddy and them from over there want to come over here and want to, you can't sell drugs over here. This is our territory. You can't. No, you can't hunt for no food. You can't be a lion and hunt for food in another lion's territory. That's a problem. It's a situation.
Yep.
And I learned that in wolf packs, if you kill one of ours, they go get their lick back. Right. It's just a part of it. Helped me, man. It helped me understand when I got this understanding of brotherhood. It helped me understand gangs and gang mentality because I grew up around it, and though I could see it,
same,
and I could understand it. That's what it was. I can now explain it. Like they misguided, but they not doing this out of spite. They didn't go join a gang out of spite. They joined the gang to find refuge and security and relativity and family. And within that ideology, when you've been taught or you haven't been shown that you're valuable as an entity, as a individual, you also lose that value in other people who look like you. So
absolutely,
it's easy to kill them because you've been told that you ain't much. You've been shown that you ain't much. TV, video games, it's been shown that life don't matter and you ain't much. Your life don't matter. You only gonna make it. They was telling me you only gonna make it to 19. You either gonna be dead or in jail. Every year I share a picture of me. It's probably my favorite picture of me where I just started losing weight and I was at Riot Room and somebody took a picture of me just like head back laughing.
I miss Riot Room, man.
It's my favorite. Yeah, man. It's a coalition. It's a picture. I share that picture every year and I share the same caption where it say, they said I was supposed to be dead or in jail by 19. This me. And it's like, it helped me understand them and it helped me be able to explain them. And so hopefully within this, being able to explain, I'll be able to lead more people to give them grace. Because if we want to, if we want to improve that, if we want these plants to grow, we have to be gracious. You can't force a plant to grow. I need you to grow. I need you to grow right now. It don't work like that.
Nope.
They did an experiment when you talk to water a specific way, you at it and they freeze it. It gets all these weird and strange constructs, destructive looking, scary looking constructs within the crystals. But if you sing to that water and you give that water grace and understanding, or you give that water, you sing to that water, you speak nice to it, and they freeze it. You get snowflakes. Yep. Snowflakes.
Man.
There's not one snowflake that looks like another snowflake. And
that's right.
to bring it back is, if we want these boys to grow from this mentality, if we want our youth to get away from this mentality, for one, we as men have to be there, because
that's right.
When women interject these things, women are not built to be the leader of young men. The ones that's supposed to be the leader of the young men are supposed to be the men, because we supposed to teach them about the dangers that's out there.
That's right.
We understand that that's what they're going through. Sometimes women don't understand that. That's why the perspectives are different, because it's stuff that they dealing with that we don't understand.
Yep.
Because our perspective is different from theirs. But within that, if we approach these situations, then I believe that we can then make the change. It's gonna happen anyways, because it's a part of life.
That's right.
The father not being there, most animals in the animal kingdom do not have their father. Most of them do not. You got the wolves, you got the dogs, you got the wolves, you got lions. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That keep their father the whole time until they ready to leave. Bears, and then I saw a study. They were studying monkeys where one of the mothers had been poached of the baby. And so the troop didn't let the baby die. And so the baby went to be with another mother. And they come to find, they watch the behavior, and the baby who has his real mother is less temperamental, uh, more patient, less volatile, because it's getting it's getting the love from its actual mother. And in that process of this mother caring for the foster kid grows up volatile. And that's a parallel of what our youth goes through. They lose their parents, they grow up and they're not guided and they're not given morals and principles and taught correctly. They grow up volatile, they grow up temperamental, they
Yep.
grow up and end up in jail. And they misguided. They're misguided on how to operate. And so when I understanding these, that man, that lives parallel, that perspectives parallel what the animal kingdom is going through, there's a parallel, or with what you're going through, there's a parallel in the animal kingdom. Besides a few things that I've seen, man, we don't, abortion doesn't happen, cosmetic
Yep.
surgery doesn't happen.
That's right.
The animals don't deny their purpose, and when they do deny their purpose, or the animals try their best to live by these certain principles because these certain principles are in place. Understanding these principles help you survive and keep the bloodline. But with us, a lot of us don't understand these principles, so we
Right.
put
Yeah.
ourselves. A lot of time, our women and our children put themselves in front of predators and present themselves in what the predator looks at is vulnerability.
Yep.
But when we don't teach our women and our children, hey, yo, there's predators out there. We put it like this, like, yo, just like the lion is chasing the antelope, it's a predator out there that's chasing kids. It's a predator out there that's looking for women. But what you have to do to, because you can't completely prevent it, but you can prevent yourself from putting yourself in these situations of vulnerability.
Yep.
You can present yourself from putting yourself being out in the open at a moment of weakness, whether it be
Yep.
mentally weak or physically weak. And when we teach our people this, when we teach our youth and our women and other men this from this perspective, we can feed them knowledge on how to avoid these situations, because
Absolutely.
the
Yeah.
predators are out there
So, brother, I so enjoyed having you, bro.
every time.
We got to wrap it up here, but I am so glad that I had you back on the show, dude. I know we
Yeah, yeah.
said we were going to do it again, and we're going to have to do it again,
Hey,
man,
let's do it.
because
What's
I
up? How
could
y'all
talk to
doing?
you all
Nice to meet
day,
you,
dude.
man.
I could talk to you all day, bro. So, man, we're going to have your socials plugged in the show notes. So,
Straight up.
everybody listening, we're going to do some reels closer to the episode launch. I'll collaborate with you on that. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording here, bro.